Hi everyone, this is AlphaAli. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's alright. So today I'm doing a VOD review for Orc. Orc is a Plat Mercy player who is very, very lovely, and they've been, sitting in my streams for quite a while and essentially has gotten themselves a VOD for me to do today. So this is Colosseo, a Plat match. Once again, you can get your own VODs, so you have 10,000 channel points and you can do them on my Twitch. Simply just come and you can either just lurk and chill out, or you can come and talk to my amazing community as well. More than welcome to. And just build up the points and then I'll do them live on stream, and then if there's any technical difficulties, I will re-record them and then I upload them to YouTube afterwards. So you kind of get just a kind of reminder of it's there on the just in case if you ever kind of sat there, it's oh, what do I need to do better or anything. So looking at your team comp, we have ourselves a Soldier, a Genji, a Ramattra, and an Honor. I really, really like this team comp. Playing on the Switch, so it's a bit laggy. Yeah, that's alright. So obviously, main damage boost target is your what's it called? Your Soldier, who seems to be waiting for you. Yep. It seems like he was waiting for you and you just didn't go with him. But yeah, so obviously main blue beam is your Soldier. You can obviously damage boost the Genji if you need to. Ramattra is also really good to damage boost from certain points, and obviously Honor has a lot of self-sustain as well, which is perfect. So overall we're doing great playing behind this cover. I really like it. Topping up the Honor perfectly. Damage boosting Soldier. I'd still, even if you're just blue beam in here, I'd still just be looking I'll just put the playlist on, that's alright. Honestly, I struggle to play Overwatch without music or streaming, really. But I'd still, in this general scenario, I'd still be looking at your team here. The reasoning is because, what's it called? You might still need to help these out. And I think as the team fight kind of progresses, for example, you've taken a lot of space here, I'd be looking to push forward into this arch as well. Just purely because you can help out a little bit more from this scenario here. So we rotate round, that's all good. Help Genji, awesome. Lovely G. Oh, okay, that's just unfortunate. He gets kind of knocked out like this. That's fair enough. Def, you need to reset there. I wouldn't have GA'd to him if you wanted to get out. I would have tried to go to the Genji or something. But if you had to GA in there, that's fine. Just to reset. It's unfortunate that your Ramattra got picked off so quickly. I was kind of expecting him to get healed up a little bit more from the Honor, but it didn't seem like it for some reason. But it's all good. It's obviously helping. Jeez, he got annihilated. Lovely waiting for the right point to res though and using the cover, which is great. But your Soldier did kind of just get annihilated a bit here. Same thing, who you're on has LOS of him here, so you don't need to be here. You should instead, what's it called? You should play with your Soldier here. Just back off, play kind of here, or you can even, if you need to push up, play this wall here and damage boost him. He's got such a good off angle here, and if you get a damage boost, he can easily pick off some of these people here. So we'll see what you do. See, helping out. See, healing, which is really, really great. I'd stick to damage boosting here, but it's all good. See, helping Ramattra. I love how you're using this high ground to be safe though. Lovely going into damage boost with your Soldier. Obviously healing. Because obviously this, you see this Genji's here, I would be pinging him just to let your team know hey, he's here kind of thing. Because obviously you realize he's here. Oh, it's a bit questionable, that's alright. This res, I would have waited to res here, right? I would have literally just, what's it called? So what could have happened? So obviously you saw this Genji. I would then be flying away and playing away. Maybe helping your Soldier out a little bit more. Or going to go and help your Ramattra a little bit more in kind of the team fight and stuff like that. Wait for the Genji to dash through and either focus someone else, in which case you can go and res if everyone's still quite healthy and stuff. Because it was kind of you went to go and res and then straight out focus you. But we'll see what happens now. Okay, UGA's the wrong person here. Because your beam was still connected to your Honor. I felt so you wanted to get to your Soldier, which would have been perfect. Because all you would have done is you would have GA'd up, and then you could just play. You can have GA up and then play around here instead. You would have had such a better angle on the fight here a little bit more. What beam mode do you have it on? Because I always say prefer facing is the best one, in my personal opinion. But obviously you either didn't have your crosshair on him fully for the prefer facing, or you don't have that mode on. You have preferred pacing on? Yeah. So I think you just didn't have your crosshair over him enough, which I think was like slightly unlucky. So it's fine, you're coming back now. Obviously your soldier's coming for you, which is like lovely. The valve, which is great. Lovely damage boost. I love that res. Obviously Mercy has like, the other Mercy has like kind of like same idea. I love this. Going in to go and help your Ramatra is perfect here. Lovely ping on the Mercy. I wouldn't have GA'd like into here though. I loved all this though. I loved you going in, helping this Ramatra. This is perfect. Playing up here, perfect, right? And then ping, perfect. When you want to fly out here, I'd fly and then fly over here instead of like, because you kind of like flew in like this and you don't really want to do that. You would fly off like to the side like this, all right? But I love you helping your Ramatra here. That's perfect. This is a bad GA though. Yeah, this shouldn't have been a fly in, right? This should have been a stay with, because obviously your Genji kind of got picked off, that's fine. Stay with your Ramatra, play with your Ramatra, because you know the people are going to be coming back, because obviously you did just win the team fight and stuff. There was no need for you to like fly all the way over here. You instead should be like staying with your Ramatra and either finding a place to like play with him here, so like playing off to the sides, or playing like back a bit or something, or even just peeling back to come and play with your soldier and stuff like that, alright? Their positioning could be awkward sometimes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, which it's good that you've realised and stuff like that, which is all good. Alright, so we'll see what you do now. So obviously, Arna picks off the Genji, which is a really, really good start to the team fight, especially because you know he has Blade and stuff. Lovely, lovely slingshot and using position. This was a very bad GA. Well, like, I understand the GA, but it should have been either you get your beam on him and just stay here, or you do like a backwards GA here, because you kind of like GA to him and then, oh my gosh, I'm in the middle of the team, right? GA and then play over here. He just ended up getting taken out, which is like fair enough. Healing up, which is great. You can res this. Perfect, as you do. I feel as though you should know this dragon's gonna come for you, right? Because especially because this is like a little bit higher up, like ranks wise. You know this Hans, obviously this Hanzo would have seen you go in for this res here, and then you don't want to, the majority of the time, you don't want to stay wherever you've resed, right? Because a lot of the time people will know where you are or they'll want to focus you, and it's better to get out into a better scenario. So I think as soon as you resed here, I'd be looking around like to your Genji or to your Ana or something and GAing out as quick as you can. Because this Hanzo will have seen you come in to do this like res here, which is perfect res, kind of say. Love this res out in the cover and stuff like that. Obviously, team's backed off, perfect res. You just need to be able to have that target out, which should have been your Ana here, all right? So, just so you would have been able to like to avoid those dragons, basically. I think I died another time to his ult. I mean, it depends on the other time of his ult, because normally you can like predict where he's going to ult from. Like, because usually it'll either do it to a place that you will want to go, or a place where you are at the very moment in time. And it really just depends on like scenario and stuff like that. Okay, so in this scenario here, I would not be pushing forward up like this. The reason is because when you get to higher ranks and stuff, this Genji will be able to like instantly bat your head off and stuff like that. If your team aren't here, just wait off to the side. Like, you can walk out of spawn, sure, but then just like stay back and stay out of the way, like over here, for example. Wait for them to push forward and stuff like that, and then you can walk forward with the team, alright? Which is kind of like what you're doing now, and then go into damage with the Moira, which is great. But it's the same thing. I feel as though you could have avoided all this damage if you just waited for your team to push up a little bit more. Your Genji gets taken out, which is fair enough. I don't mind this super jump here, because it's obviously you're using the cover of the roofs and stuff. I'm just going to play this thing back just for a second. I want to see what your Genji's going to do, like, round here. So, yeah, so we could have avoided all this damage. That's fine. I feel as though with this scenario, like, I like how you're going in with your Ramatra here. But as soon as you've done the super jump up, I'd be kind of, like, using this height advantage here and looking around and think what's going to happen. You know the Genji has ult. Does Genji have anything to assist this blade apart from your damage boost? No, because he has no nano. He has like no kind of like bubbles from like Zarya or like just anything that's going to be able to amplify the damage apart from your blue beam, which I feel as though at this point, like I love how you go in with this Remarch and helping him here, but then what's going to happen is because all this team's going to hear is going to like start like kind of backing off a little bit. So I think playing this like this is fine. Coming up here is like fine, but then I'd be then looking for your Genji. So I'll just play it out in this scenario here. Your Genji will be wanting to go in and blade this now, right? He drops down. Yeah, so he's still here. I feel as though at this point, I would be looking to go with the Genji. And just pocket this blade, alright? So I feel as though it would have helped here. You have the Moira. Where's your Moira? Oh, well you did have your Moira to help. Is your Moira? Okay, your Moira's over there down here for whatever reason. But like, what should be happening is your Moira should be here with like the Ramattra. And it's fine even if you just go and like pocket from like the high grounds and stuff. But I think definitely you could have assisted with this blade a little bit more. Obviously he gets 2, which is great, don't get me wrong. Obviously go in healing mode, which is perfect. Damage boosting you here, which is great. Obviously Sigma pulls off to reset, that's fine. So I think in this scenario, just in like a generic kind of thing, you know, just for future reference basically, and also when you get a little bit higher up, normally Genjis, especially when they do what I call as like a naked blade, as in nothing applied to it, normally they will get rolled. So you going in with that damage boost to try and help, even if you don't like fully commit with it, like, you know, like go and diving like fully in with him, even if you just apply the damage boost for like the first bit and like just like play around the little piece of cover and stuff, it'd like help out a little bit more. You have Genji Tracer now, so you kind of like have to move your main blue beam to this Genji. Lovely peel for your Tracer, which is great. Obviously playing around to the side again, which is perfect. Obviously you heard this Hanzo, which is great. Backing off again. I feel as though this you kind of played a little bit too passively. Like, because it was like, okay, cool, like you were damage boosting, playing around here and stuff like that. And then you did a GA up to here, which is a good GA and all, like, don't get me wrong. Like, it helps you, like, save for a second. But it meant you were, like, out of the team fight for quite a while. I'd still be looking for, like, better places you could have, like, GA'd to there. Nice calling out that you got ult. Nice. And the same thing here, I'd still be looking to help your Genji, which is exactly what you're doing right now. Okay, yeah, you don't want to be playing up on this high ground. As soon as people start pushing in on this bridge and start pushing like up in general, because obviously you know the whole team's like going to be respawning now and coming up, you don't want to be playing up on this bridge anymore. Like, it was fine when you did it earlier, that's okay, that's cool. But now you want to be, and also to go and help the Genji, like, that's fine. But as soon as you see the team pushing in like this, you now want to be rotating and playing probably like around here more so. Just around here. Just so you're not, what's it called? Which is exactly what you've done, which is perfect here. But I would have been there to begin with in order to avoid that unnecessary damage. Playing the cover, which is great. I would have not GA'd fully here. The reason is because you'll make yourself very vulnerable to this Hanzo that obviously knows where you are. So I love how you go and like use this cover, that's great. I would have used maybe like a cancel GA, like come here and then cancel just to bait him out or something. Or like come here and cancel and play over here. Just so like, because you do this full GA makes it very vulnerable to you just like being hit off like by him instantly. I would have done maybe like a juke out, like a doom, and then you can still assess people from here and then use a second one to do it. And also the GA cancels as well, don't have like a shorter cooldown as well, which makes it a lot better. It also means that you get focus in this flux. Yeah. I feel as though as well you, what's it called? You doing that bait out and stuff like that, it would have helped you, what's it called, not get picked out. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, exactly. Like what you've literally said, my fault for extending out too much. Exactly. I feel as though if you took your time and like really, because you played it amazingly, like before, what's it called, playing out there and stuff like that. It's just that little GA, I think you should have done a juked out one, would have helped a little bit more. Okay, here you're putting yourself into harm's way for no reason whatsoever, alright? You let your Genji, sorry, let your Tracer flank here. because the Tracer can just go in. Like, I like how your damage boost hurt at the beginning. Sure, that's fine. Then back off. Look for your Genji, because your Genji is your main blue beam. Because right now you're putting yourself into, like, a lot of, like, spam damage that you don't need to here. Alright? I like how you go to the health pack, though, and obviously you're in Moira's help, which is great. Obviously healing for him. But I think for this entire time, I'd be looking to be with your Genji for it all. Obviously you're healing for him now, which is great. Helping him out. Healing Ram, which is great. Had Coalescence. I was so worried about this Zen here. Oh, it's right, his back's off. Because I was like, I could hear the Zen in like this corner, and obviously in the replays you can see him and stuff like that. So yeah. I like the idea of it and stuff like that. But I think this whole scenario would have been never heard the Zen. You sometimes can hear him, like, because obviously you can't hear his footsteps, which is like annoying, but you can hear him when he like charges up his shots and stuff like that. It's great that you heard this echo, kind of say that this was great that you heard this echo. I just want to pull this back again, just to kind of like see. So okay, you put yourself into danger where you didn't need to. Okay, I would have been with this Genji for this entire thing. That's fine. Love this GA. This is a good GA. Playing with the Genji, great. We go and help Ram. That's fine. That's perfect. We get Coalescence. Awesome. Good. You hear this echo? Perfect. You GA away. Okay, so now instead of GA, because you don't need to GA into this room here, you can just GA and then just keep damage boosting here. Because there's no need for you to go into this room whatsoever. You could just still stay on this side. This side is the safer side for you. Even though the echo's here, like the you know the echo's still behind you. It's still better, I think, to play around here instead of going into like what I'd classify as like the unknown, because obviously the Zen's here, like in the unknown. So I'd still play like off here. That's fine. Go and help your Ram. Love that rotation. I'd be looking to get out though, because as soon as I love this rotation. This was a beautiful rotation of going to help your Ram over the top and round. The only issue with doing this is obviously if people have backed off a little bit more, if people still come back from the spawn, they can very easily get you here. So I'd now be looking to back off, either play like GA and play over here, and you can play over here. But I love that rotation. That was a very, very nice rotation. Which is exactly what you've done. I would have just done it a little bit quicker, personally. Love how you push forward your DPS now. Lovely ping on the Mercy. Unfortunately, he's too far away, because I believe on these like buildings, you can crouch down. If like they're directly under here, you can crouch down like this in order to get the reses off and stuff. Sadly, he's like too far away, like in the middle, to be able to. But if that does happen, you can do that. I'd ping here, ping this Zen, because you have been pinging like a bit, like, you know, a bit. I need you to ping more though. Like ping this Zen here, because you know this Zen's gonna be here. Obviously, the Genji's focused him and stuff, which is great. Obviously, healing up. I would leave that for your Moira, but your Moira seems to be like nowhere to be seen. And now I'd be pushing up with your Genji. Genji kills it, which is honestly great. But I'd still be I'd still be with your Genji there. Just purely to help more. Okay, let's talk about this. So, with this Hanzo, right? And also with this robot, the robot is what I call the butt scratching moment, right? Where essentially whenever he caps like one of these like halfway points, he stops for a moment and like scratches like his bum basically like this and just stops, right? Here in this scenario, you should have been with the Genji to help him with here, and then you should now be playing this cover here, and this Genji should be pushing up more up to here to try and like get some more damage and stuff like that. Right? So instead you kind of like stood here, and obviously the dragons like kind of come for you. You can't push the robot at this point. Bear in mind you have your you have your Marcher here as well, right? So I think what's it called? You need to be like with your you need to be with your Genji here pushing up. But it's all good. See what happens. I think your Overwatch is probably gonna die here. Yep. Who's in it? Don't know what the boy was doing. Who was in an ad break? Dumb Deaf. Yeah. It's just like it's kind of like what I've been saying in the past like few kind of VODs is you have to kind of realize sometimes that there's like certain points in the payload and like certain points where like the even if you're on the payload it's not going to do anything, right? Because it's like that with the butt scratching, that like for example literally in my last VOD that I talked about with Paricio, how there's like all that space where it moves by itself and stuff like that. But yeah, don't know what the Moira was doing. I mean, she's been a bit questionable at points. Your DPS are good though, I will say that. It's obviously great. Damage boosting Ram again. Perfect. Anyway, I'm going to see Ramachi in the Nemesis 4 when he teabags just honestly makes me giggle so much. I think it's so funny. Pushing in with the Genji. Love how you like just left the GA to play out there. You didn't need to do this like fling upwards here. You could literally just do a GA cancel here and then play back here, because it's the same thing where you put yourself into like a lot of like danger that you don't need to. Obviously the Echo did it perfectly with like stickies and focus down and stuff like that. There's nothing you could have done to save him here, but yeah, you kind of like did like a weird movement that you don't need to. Just cancel. Oh, and then you tried to you tried to do like a super jump res like over the wall, didn't you? This was your aim. Your aim was essentially just to go and super jump res over this wall. So you know all these people are focusing you, right? Because you already made the mistake of like going round. If you want to get this res off, just go and play with your team for a bit, or like go and like damage boost your tracer. Go and do something else to make it not obvious that you want to go for this res. Because if they all start to push forward, like to obviously go and attack the point, you can then just come back and just res from behind if you need to, alright? But yeah, you kind of like you kind of like said to the team, hey, look at me already, like for the first time that you did this like jump up, like, hey, look at me, look at all this. And then you kind of like had the right idea of like going back to the Moira, and then you should have at this point just gone with her to point or stayed with your tracer. But instead you were just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna go do this res, which would have been like cool and all if like you got it off, don't get me wrong, but you did that risk where you just didn't need to, alright? But we'll keep it going. No, exactly. It would eat. I would say 100% arc. Like it looks so cool, amazing to put on TikTok if you got it off and stuff like that. But yeah, so just have a bit of my drink while you respawn. So obviously this is just a team pack reset. Obviously great to help all these people out. Once these are safe though, I'd be going to go back with your Genji, which is what I think you're going to be doing now. Because the same thing, you don't need to be with your Tracer right now. Tracer absolutely never pretty much needs your damage boost. Instead of this GA, I would have GA'd kind of back into, like, back over here. So do like a bam, bam kind of thing, instead of like forcing yourself all the way back here. The reason is because you're giving more time for this Hanzo to hit a straight shot on you. Like this, for example. So yeah. I think once again this is a very unnecessary GA. Like over, like I like how like one of those like GAs over the top. There's absolutely no need. Valk, sadly everyone gets picked off. Yeah, you're doing the right thing here, like literally just what's it called? Just kind of let yourself get killed there, which is really, really good. So Genji's calling for you here with to say that he's got ult. That means obviously he wants to like follow him. Cute res, I'll say that, right? Cute res. The bad thing about it is that you should wait to do this res, right? Because he's only just died, right? I didn't try to get myself killed, I tried to escape him. You should have just tried to get killed though, like, very honestly, in that last fight, right? You should, because all your team has died. There is no way you're going to get out there. and you're in your Valk, just honestly, just get your pistol out, start pistoling people. If you get a pick, that's great because it'll, like, they don't have a Mercy. So they're going to be coming into the last fight, a person down already, right? So you just want to kind of, like, go in and just pistol. In this fight here, don't get me wrong, this res is really, really cute, but I'd be looking to pocket this blade more because it eliminates, because if you want to go for the res afterwards, it eliminates the risk of going for the res, right? Because at the moment you're kind of like risking in 4 people, whereas if you kind of like stayed up and around here, you could still pocket this blade and help him out, right? Because I feel as though he ends up dying a little bit just purely because you're not with him. You have prefer facing target on, don't you, right? So you can kind of like trust in your sense a little bit more. What I would have done here is, I know you're like flying off the edge, trust your beam and drop a bit, then use a prop, like wall kind of prop jump here, GA up, and you can kind of background here and play over here. A lot of people don't realize this high ground exists, but it exists on like both sides, and it is perfect for like setting up on as like Mercy and stuff. So sadly, get picked off. You don't have res. It's stolen out. Oh, you're gonna falling off now, aren't you? So instead of doing the what's it called? Instead of doing like the little like flick, oh, all the way down here. Instead of doing like the little flick thing up here, I believe that one of like your DPS and stuff, we're still here. Hold on, let's just play this whole thing back, right? So we're over here. Awesome. I'd trust your beam more here and do the thing up to the spot, like I said, because it puts you in a lot less risk. That's fine. At this point, you still have a lot of distance that still needs to be covered, right? I'd be looking, because look, you have 2 amazing escape slots here. Go out to these guys, because both of these people have things that can stall with, like your Tracer obviously has all the blinks, can blink around, you can sit and damage boost them from like a safe spot once you've kind of like got back. Moira has Fade. Moira can literally just like, you know, be a menace around point, Fade and stuff like that in order to help survive. You as Mercy, you don't really have anything. Honestly, I never saw them. I think it's mainly just due to like the overtime like scenario. Like if we're looking kind of like at where you physically are, like with your cam view, you're not looking at them. But like at this point, I feel as though you could kind of like see the Moira a little bit. But yeah, you're panicking a lot and just focusing on this orb, and you've already rezzed, and like this isn't going to help you whatsoever, this orb. You need to be looking for options to get out at this point, all right? But we fall off after the second kind of like jump that you didn't really need to do. I think you could have also still GA'd out to like your Moira at some point during that. But we'll see what happens with the rest of this team fight. Genji gets pick. Tracer dies. Genji dies. Ramarchi has his broken ult though, which might be good. Obviously you're coming back. Come back and clutch. Alright, okay. Damage boost as soon as you've done it. Awesome. He dies. I mean, fair enough with the res. Good res, to be fair. I would have done the res as well. Oh, where's the Overwatch? Did the Overwatch die after the res? Hold on. Sorry, I need to go back. So, we do the res. That's kind of cute. Okay. I don't know whether the res... I don't know. I would have resed... He just gets annihilated straight away, bless him. But it does mean that your team can, like, follow up and stuff like that. Awesome. So, I think AUG in general, your positioning at certain points is really, really good. Like your positioning in like certain scenarios is really, really good, and you know how to position well. The next thing is that you need to kind of trust in your pocketed DPS more, like your main blue beam target more. Like for example, probably being your Genji. I feel as though there's certain points where you should be kind of playing with the Genji and playing for like his ult and stuff like that, with obviously like, the blades and stuff like that. But then again, it's quite hard to play Mercy in that comp because obviously you have like Genji Tracer. Um, so yeah, so I think it's just generic. Like your position is good the majority of the time. It's just you do better ones where you just go into like other like random spots that you don't need to. Um, I think your B management's really good. I'll say that your B management's really really good. It's just your res sometimes like you need to either look for a place out or really like think about it a lot kind of thing. Um, before you go for the reses and stuff. Yeah, you GA a little bit too much as well. Like but I don't think that's really like your main issue. Genuinely, I feel as though it's more kind of just your positioning from time to time and your over like decision making. I feel like, um, but yeah, overall, I think it's still really really strong. Yeah, the panic rises the panic rises are quite bad at some points, but I think overall it's quite a strong VOD arc, and I think if you kind of like polish up those like few like little errors, 100% gonna go really really well. I feel as though you can like climb back up to diamond really really easily with that. It's just those like few little bits and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to check out the other VODs in the playlist if you want to, and of course you can get your own for 10,000 channel points on my Twitch channel. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you all later. Bye.